Today I'm going to show you a design that incorporates a few different techniques, including double loaded flowers, teardrops, dots, stars, and a bit of outlining. First, I'm doing a double loaded flower. So I'm loading a short bristled number 4 round with tag white. You want to get a really nice creamy consistency to your paint, but I do have it a little bit on the wetter side so that it can really saturate the brush, like right up to the ferrule. I twirl as I load my brush so that I keep that nice point on the end, and then I brush that nice point onto a towel until there's hardly any paint on it, so that when I dip it into my second colour it absorbs it really well. I'm doing a double petal flower, so I'm starting by standing my brush on the point and then just leaning it down and pressing to get a nice round petal shape. To get the double petal, I do the first petal and then lift the brush back up to the point, like don't lift it off the skin, then press it back down next to that first petal so you get a love heart shape. So I do 5 lots of those, and because the petals are double, you do need to think about spacing, or you can end up running out of room and only getting 4 petals in, which doesn't look quite right to me, as I tend to do everything in odd numbers. Now I'm using a number 2 round to outline the flower. So to get a nice outline, I start on the point of the brush and then press down as I go round in a C shape around the petal and lift to a point again, and continue that all the way around the flower. Now I'm going to add some teardrops around the flower using a number 2 brush, but one that's got really fat, short bristles, as opposed to the number 2 that I used for outlining, which is longer and skinnier. So again, I've double loaded the brush just like I did for the flower. And for teardrops, I like to start on the point, drag and press the brush down to get a nice round shape, but you can also do it the other way around, so starting with the round shape and then tapering it down into the point. I've also angled my teardrops away from each other, so the whole design starts to get a little bit of an S shape to it, but it depends on what part of the body you're painting as to what shape you want to aim for. So now I'm outlining those teardrops, so starting with a pointed petal shape at the tip. So start on your point, press down and drag back up to a point, and then do the same on the other side. Then I'm going to do little C shapes around the petals just until I almost reach the flower. So starting on a point, press down as I go around and then lift back on a point, just so you get a bit of variation in the thickness of the line and gives it a little bit more interest. I also use quite a wet consistency of paint so that I get that nice crisp line, and you can see there that the line started to get a little bit blunt, and that was because my brush got too dry. So it started to drag, and when it starts to drag, that's when I know it's time to reload. So again, another C shape and another C shape, and starting on a point, pressing down and up to a point to get another petal shape. And so just the same as on the other side, doing little C shapes all the way down to the flower. And sorry, my hand got in the way here. It was really hard to set my camera up. And then here again, you can see it got really blunt. So again, reloading, really wet paint, and just going over it and just flicking into a point there. Right, so now I've double loaded that same number 2 that I used for the teardrop so that I can do some little single petal flowers. So just doing them in groups of 3, just because again odd numbers look better than even numbers. And then using a number 0 round and really wet paint, I'm adding some dots to the center of the flowers and some dots in the middle of the big flower as well, and then just little dot clusters. So I like to vary the size of those dots, and at the end of the flowers just sort of trail them off into a little tapered point. And again on the other side, again in odd numbers, varying sizes, and up to a point. Now I'm adding some dots just to the end of that petal shape at the end of the teardrops, just starting big and tapering them down to tiny little dots at the end. Now I'm doing stars. So to do my stars, I use really wet paint and a fine number 0 round brush, and start with a dot in the middle and then just flick that paint out. So really wet paint and doing a dot and flicking out so you get 4 little points on your star. So I've left it at that for now, or I would have ended up making a half-hour long video of me adding random flowers and stars and stuff. So here's a picture of what I would normally do. So normally I just keep painting and adding elements and adding colors until I run out of skin or time, and just making sure to follow the lines of the part of the body that you're painting. So if you're painting around an eye, you really want to curve it around the eye, or on your hand, taper the dots to your index finger, just follow the natural curves of your body basically. It's a really good exercise to do to practice your various brush strokes. Um, you can go crazy with different colors and elements and still end up with a really beautiful design. You really don't have to think about it much, just keep adding things and do what feels natural. Thanks for watching. I'd love to see photos of your designs if you do this exercise. You'll find a link to my Facebook page under this video. If there's any particular designs or design elements that you'd like me to do a video of, please let me know. Or if you live in Adelaide and would like to learn in person, I'll be doing workshops in the near future. Again, thanks for watching and see you next time.